The imperial examination had always been merciless. Once the gates closed, not even fire could open them again. A grim lesson from a past tragedy, when over 90 candidates had burned alive because examiners refused to unlock the hall, ensured that order outweighed everything. So when Xu Yanmiao exposed a substitute test taker, he simply imprisoned both the imposter and the original candidate inside Jigong Tower until the exams ended. Calmly, he handed over paper and ordered a full confession of every fraudulent exam taken in the last 15 years. Outwardly righteous, inwardly, Xu was delighted. This confession would become the perfect evidence list for the emperor. Meanwhile, outside the hall, the old emperor nearly exploded after overhearing Xu's private complaints about temptation and meat. Yet Empress Doe wisely reminded him that repeated joking criticism could one day harden into genuine resentment. Her lesson struck deeply. Right until Xu's inner gossip abruptly shifted to teasing the elderly imperial couple for secretly flirting in front of their children, leaving both emperor and empress red-faced while the crown prince escaped laughing. As the exams progressed through 3 grueling rounds, Xu's supernatural ability to detect cheating earned him legendary fame in the capital. The people called him Xu Shentong, Xu the All-Knowing, while insiders privately dubbed him Little Bays. During paper grading, Xu uncovered something far more dangerous than cheating. Grand Rector Wu of the Imperial Academy had suspiciously chosen Liang Yuwu's essay as top in the Book of Rites. Xu's suspicions sharpened when his system revealed Liang's identity. Rather than act immediately, Xu laid a trap. He would wait for Liang Yuwu to visit Wu with thanks, exposing corruption firsthand. The trap worked better than expected. Liang arrived not only with the priceless Tai sword, but also with an account book so horrifying that Wu Jiju nearly lost his sanity. Xu's system revealed the true scandal. Years earlier, Wu had embezzled public funds to cover his son's business debts, then balanced the missing wealth through accidental warehouse fires, stolen salt, and a sprawling corruption network stretching from county magistrates to prefects, canal officials, and even a retired assistant minister of revenue. What began as exam fraud exploded into a national financial scandal. The emperor, already prepared, had secretly stationed Jinyue outside officials' homes. The moment Liang attempted his visit, both he and Wu were arrested instantly. Xu was stunned by the emperor's cunning, while officials listening through Xu's thoughts collectively panicked as one corrupt name after another surfaced. At the same time, the exam rankings were released. Gao He placed 38th, Hai Mingda 39th, while Liang Yu shockingly ranked 4th before his downfall fully unfolded. In the end, while Liang Ri, an upright father who had resisted corruption all his life, agonized over where his shameless son had gone wrong, the rest of officialdom had a simpler fear. Since Xu Yanmiao arrived, every scandal seemed to grow into an empire-shaking purge. Was he truly Bai's? Or Daxia's personal star of ruin? Xu Yanmiao, meanwhile, had already reached the fish soup stall, blissfully unaware that his casual mental gossip had just obliterated yet another promising marriage alliance. He accepted a steaming bowl with both hands, took one cautious sip, hot, 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 then immediately forgot his burned tongue the moment the flavor hit. Oh wow, this is incredible. Fresh fish, ginger, scallions, no fishy taste at all. Ancient people really do know how to cook. Standing nearby, several officials subtly shifted closer, not because they wanted gossip. Absolutely not. They were merely interested in the fish soup. Xu Yummiao happily grabbed a second bowl and continued flipping through his gossip system. All right, where was I? Oh right, the Bangyan's family. The surrounding officials instantly froze. Kui Yi, who had only just escaped disaster, nearly dropped dead on the spot. No, please, let this one go. But fate was merciless. Actually, this family's problems aren't entirely the mother's fault either. Huh, she became paralyzed from rage after her husband died. But before that, she was apparently famous in the neighborhood for being unbelievably controlling. She handled all household affairs personally, never let her sons interact with girls, insisted that all improper contact between men and women must be avoided, and even banned her eldest son from speaking to female cousins once he turned 10. Wait, then how exactly is he supposed to get married? By closing his eyes and randomly grabbing a bride at the ceremony? Several young officials choked on their drinks. One older minister coughed so hard his beard nearly flew off. The Bangyan, still standing in place like a lost goose, suddenly had a very bad feeling. Xu Yanmiao kept reading. Oh, so when neighbors introduced potential brides, his mother personally rejected every single one. Too tall, too short, too fat, too thin, voice too loud, embroidery too poor, horoscope incompatible. And her ultimate dream daughter-in-law is apparently obedient, tireless, skilled in housework, filial, silent, fertile, pretty, but not so pretty she might attract attention, and preferably from a poor family so she'll be grateful forever. Sir, you are not looking for a daughter-in-law. You are recruiting a free servant with childbirth benefits. The officials of Daxia. Kui silently wiped cold sweat from his forehead. He had not merely dodged a bullet, he had dodged extermination. The old emperor from a distance watched Kui's expression and immediately understood. Another one eliminated. Excellent. Fewer options meant fewer headaches for Princess Xiangyang. The Bangyan's face, however, had gone deathly pale, because all of that was true. He had always believed his mother's strictness came from love and hardship. But hearing it laid out so bluntly, for the first time he began to wonder, if he truly married someday, would his wife actually be entering a household or walking into a prison? Meanwhile, Xu Yanmiao finished his second bowl of fish soup, sighed in satisfaction, and arrived at a completely unrelated conclusion. Conclusion: fish soup today, social collapse tomorrow. Anyway, next candidate. The old emperor stared at Xu Yanmiao as if he had just witnessed a loyal minister spontaneously combust. Unworthy? He repeated, voice unreadable. Princess Xiangyang nearly choked on her own breath. Father, he means. I know what he means, the emperor cut in, then slowly narrowed his eyes at Xu Yanmiao. So, my daughter confesses she likes you, and your first reaction is refusal? Xu Yanmiao immediately bowed so fast it looked rehearsed. Your Majesty, this humble servant is but a frail civil official. I cannot wield swords, tame horses, or produce heirs with auspicious feng shui. Princess Xiangyang deserves mountains and seas. I can barely survive memorial paperwork. And more importantly, marrying a princess means waking up at dawn for palace greetings, kneeling every festival, and possibly getting executed if I accidentally breathe too loudly. Princess Xiangyang. Her eye twitched. Was this man rejecting her, or listing workplace hazards? The emperor's lips twitched dangerously. Executed for breathing? Xu Yanmiao froze. Did I say that out loud? No, the emperor replied coldly, but your face is offensively expressive. The hidden Jin Yue nearly broke discipline trying not to laugh. Princess Xiangyang suddenly stepped forward, clutching her sleeves dramatically. Father, look, even now he fears only for my future suffering. He thinks himself inadequate, such selflessness. Surely this proves his sincerity. Xu Yanmiao's soul practically left his body. No, stop interpreting. I'm not selfless, I'm self-preserving. The emperor folded his arms. Interesting. For the first time, a young man in his court treated becoming imperial son-in-law like a death sentence. Most would have wept with gratitude. This one looked ready to fake his own funeral. Xu Yanmiao, the emperor said at last, almost kindly, which was far more terrifying, tell me honestly, if I granted this marriage, what would you do? The court collectively held its breath. Xu Yanmiao hesitated. Then, with the expression of a martyr facing history, he answered, this subject would dedicate himself fully to serving the princess. The emperor raised a brow. Princess Xiangyang blinked. That sounded acceptable? But Xu Yanmiao's inner voice continued. By serving her tea, helping her dodge palace lectures, covering for her when she skips etiquette lessons, and maintaining a purely revolutionary comradeship until death. Princess Xiangyang bit her lip so hard she nearly lost composure. Revolutionary? Comradeship? Was she so terrifying that even fake marriage required ideological boundaries? The emperor finally lost. He burst into laughter so sudden and thunderous that birds scattered from nearby trees. Ha! Fine, enough! He pointed at his daughter. You, stop using Xu Yanmiao as a shield. Then at Xu Yanmiao, and you, rest assured, I would never give my precious daughter to someone whose first instinct is to compare marriage with capital punishment. Xu Yanmiao nearly collapsed from relief. Long live the wise emperor. Princess Xiangyang, meanwhile, felt a new grudge bloom. Fine. If Xu Yanmiao wanted to ruin her escape plan, then she would personally make sure his future wife knew exactly how purely revolutionary he was. On the very first Grand Court Assembly after official appointments, Gao He was so nervous that his legs nearly moved in unison with his heartbeat. By the 10th day, he had finally adapted enough to stand straight without sweating through his robes. By the 20th day, Xu Yanmiao had also adapted, meaning he had fully mastered the art of appearing solemn and dignified while secretly treating court like opening a morning gossip app. With his hands respectfully folded and his expression as upright as a moral exemplar, he quietly opened his system. Let's see. Today's Blind Box Court Edition. Whoever steps out first to report, congratulations. Your ancestral gossip package will now be unlocked. The entire court instantly froze. The old emperor seated high above on the dragon throne nearly choked on his tea. Below him, dozens of officials, who had spent years clawing their way through bureaucracy, factional warfare, and memorial battles, suddenly experienced the primal fear of prey sensing a predator. Several ministers, who had just lifted a foot, immediately withdrew it as though the floor had turned molten. Silence. Then, Minister of Revenue, ahem. The Treasury matter is not urgent. The Ministry of Rights should proceed first. Nonsense. State finances concern the nation. Please, you first. Minister of War. Border defense can wait a moment. I heard the Ministry of Works has a bridge collapse report. Minister of Works. The bridge has already collapsed. It won't collapse twice in the next quarter hour. Their smiles were elegant. Their eyes were murderous. Huh? Xu Yanmiao blinked. Why is everyone so polite today? Did court officials collectively decide to become civilized? The old ministers maintained saintly expressions. Internally, civilize your ancestor. Whoever goes first is the sacrificial chicken. Last time old Zhang stepped out first, his third uncle's concubine's gambling den got exposed. Even the usually aggressive censorate officials had lowered their heads, suddenly fascinated by floor tiles. The newly appointed officials, however, were baffled. Gao He blinked. He heard it again. Young Master Shu's voice. Inside his head, Gao He's scalp tingled. He cautiously glanced around. No one reacted. Then he glanced at Shu Yanmiao, who stood there looking perfectly innocent, radiating scholarly righteousness. Was he the only one hearing things? Nearby, another rookie official whispered, "Brother Gao, did you hear someone talking?" Gao He nearly burst into tears. Not madness, shared madness. Before either could process further, Shu Yanmiao's mental voice rang out again. Since no one's moving, I'll randomly pick one. Oh. Minister Zhao from the Ministry of Personnel? Minister Zhao's soul practically left his body. Interesting. So when Minister Zhao was 7, he stole his father's prized parrot, taught it to say father has a private stash, and accidentally exposed 300 tails hidden in the rice jar. Puffed. Someone failed to hold it in. The sound spread like contagion. A snort here, a cough there. Even the old emperor abruptly bent over, pretending to inspect his sleeve while his shoulders shook violently. Minister Zhao stood petrified. His weathered face flushed from dignified bronze to sunset red. The new official stared in horror. What was this place? This wasn't court. This was a live public execution by gossip. And above them all, Shu Yanmiao remained serene, upright, and full of scholarly grace. Court life really is fun.